Hey students, it's Mr. Johnson. Today is Monday, August 31st. Today's video is very important, okay, so you have to watch this all the way through its entirety. I'm going to go over a couple things, some key important features, some guidelines that you need to follow throughout this semester. I've already had a couple questions from students that were a little unsure as to what they were supposed to be doing, so hopefully this video will kind of give you a better understanding about the actual program that you're using. It's called D2L is the name of this online environment that we're using to facilitate this class. So right now, when you log into our class, your screen should look a lot like mine, except it won't have my picture there. And but in terms of seeing this news feature, you should see that. Just FYI, up here where you see that little envelope, this is where you could access your email. So I don't know if you've already kind of walked through that, but you would click on that and hit go to email. So once you do that, it will take you to your email, and you can send me emails, you can respond to emails, you can see emails that I've already sent you. So it's important that you guys will access that. And anytime you get a new email, you're going to see this little red feature pop up on this, much like you see one right there. Okay, so this is in essence the home screen of our class. What I'm going to do is pretty much at least once a week, a lot of times 2 or 3 times a week, I post news items. These news items may be reminders. A lot of times when I create the assignments for the week, I do that on our calendar so that you guys see that event pop up, but a lot of times I will copy and paste that and put it on our news feed as well, just as a kind of a visual reminder. So here's where you'll see a lot of news feeds, and this is where you'll want to read and make sure that you're understanding whatever's being posted for that week. This was what I posted last week, and I think you guys use this clean video search feature. So the good news is that our videos are able to be used through this feature. So you would have to click here and then copy and paste the YouTube link into that browser so that you guys can view it there at Pleasant Grove. Okay, so down here, if you click on your calendar, this upcoming event right here, if you were to click here, this calendar is going to pop up. It's going to show you what event is being scheduled for this week. Okay, so for example, this is this week's event. It says week 4 because theoretically you're in week 4 of your semester, or of your first 9 weeks. Okay, it says students, Unit 1 covers very interesting material, including the history of computers, various operating systems, hardware and software basics, software and saving, and computer maintenance. It says you're required to complete lessons 1.01 through 1.04, and I'll explain that here in a second. It says this week and the required assignments associated with each lesson. And then I put this little reminder right here. It says remember to look at the Unit 1 through 3 required and deleted assignments document to help you understand why some assignments discussed in lessons are not required and therefore are not visible when you guys go to the Dropbox area or discussion area to try and complete that assignment or upload that assignment. Okay, so if you were to click on this right now, the file's going to pop up. I already have it down here. The file's going to look just like this. If you guys have printing capabilities in the lab, I would highly encourage you to print this. But over here on the left side of this Unit 1 through 3, okay, which is what we're going to cover for the first 9 weeks of school, here on the left side are the items that you are responsible to do. Okay, so it'll make sense here in a second, but when you get into a lesson, as you're reading through the lesson, at the very end, there's usually an assignment for you to do. Well, because we started late in the semester, I've gone through and kind of cut out assignments that you are not required to do. So, on the left side, these are all the assignments that you are required to do. For example, the first one says 101 discussion, early forms of computers. Okay, this is a discussion activity. The 1.02 OS comparison is a Dropbox activity. So this kind of guides you, so to speak, into as to what particular activity you're looking for and what kind of activity is it. Here on the left side, these are the things that I've deleted. So for example, in Unit 1, there's two activities that I've deleted. Both were Dropbox activities. Okay, in Unit 2 there were 4. In Unit 3 there were more that I deleted. So make sure you print this out as you're walking through. That way you don't get confused. I'm just going to minimize it right now. Down here I've created links for the lessons, so you certainly could click on these if you wanted to get to it that way. But let's assume that you kind of already know what you're doing here. So in order to access lessons, okay, you have to click on content. So if I were to click on content, it's going to take me to this page. And the first thing that pops up is my course schedule. If yours doesn't, just click on course schedule. You'll notice you have table of contents, and underneath your table of contents are everything that's important to you. These are your lessons, and notice this little first module right here, this first tab is called Important Files. So if I click on Important Files, which you need to make sure you do this, okay? The first thing you're going to see, you can download the class syllabus by clicking here. You can access that units 1 through 3 required and deleted assignments, which is literally what I just pulled up. It would be this, okay? Then your units or first 9 weeks pacing guide, okay? And I've already brought that up here, so you want to make sure that you access this and that you download it, maybe print it off. But what it is this file right here. And this is a visual, okay, of what you're to be doing each week. So for example, we're in week 4 right now, and that's August 31st through September 4th, okay, which is Monday through Friday. You're supposed to complete in Unit 1, lessons 1.01 through 104. And then I put right here in parentheses, required assignments are below. So as you're working through lessons 1.01 through 1.04, these 4 assignments are the only assignments you're required to complete in these lessons, okay? And then you'll want to make sure that you look through the remaining weeks. For example, next week, remember we're off Monday, so we're kind of have a short week. So I've made that accommodation there. So you'll just want to print this off and work through it. What I've done the last week of our 9 weeks, I've kind of scheduled it as a makeup day, or a makeup week. I don't know when your grades are due. So we're going to leave this week a little open. If you're a little bit behind and you need to make up a test or make up an assignment, you have the opportunity to do that during this week. Okay? Alright, so let's actually get into a lesson to see what it looks like. So again, I've clicked on the content button right here, and now I'm going to click on the first unit, okay, which is Introduction to Computers. Once I've clicked on this unit, okay, these are the links that accesses each particular section of this lesson. So for example, this week we have to complete lessons 1.01 through 1.04. Okay, so this Unit 1 checklist, if I were to click on this, it's basically just a check sheet to make sure you've done everything in the particular unit. The only caution I want to give you there is that there may be assignments on that check sheet that are not required for you to do, right? Because I've taken those out. So you want to make sure that you always refer back to this document right here, that Units 1 through 3 required and deleted assignments document, to make sure you know what is required of you and what is not. Okay, so the first lesson, this 1.01, you would click on the link, and it's going to open up lesson 1.01 for you. All right, if you guys get any pop-ups, for example, if you have to enable pop-ups in your lab, just ask your facilitator to come over and help you if you don't know how to do that already. But the way these lessons work is you can, a lot of them are audio and video, others are just text, but you'll essentially read and work through the lesson. Okay, so for this one, it says all the websites below explore the history of computers. So you would click on these websites to read a little bit about these, the history of computers. When you're finished, you click on next. Okay, and then you get to the actual task. So if we read this one, it says, you've learned about computer history in this lesson. For the lesson assignment, go to the 1.01 discussion, early forms of computer, and write 1 paragraph, which is 2 to 6 sentences, about an event in computer history that you did not know before reviewing this lesson. All right, so if I'm a student, what I'm going to do is just double check against the required assignments, and there it is, 1.01 discussion, early forms of computer. Yes, this is a required assignment. All right, so once I know about whatever particular event I'm going to write about, and for the discussion, I'm going to go back to the lesson so I can close out this lesson right here. I'm going to go back to this section right here, and and I would access the discussion board by clicking on the Assessment tab. Okay, right here, if I wasn't ready to go back to it and I wanted to get back to that screen I was just at, you would click on right here, Units, or you could go all the way to Content. So there's several different ways you could get back to it. But let's say that I'm ready to go ahead and post my discussion. I'm going to click on the Assessment tab, click on Discussions. I'm going to locate the first one, which is 1.01, Early Discussion, or Discussion, Early Forms of Computer. Many of you have already done that, so I would click right there and post my discussion. All right. I want to quickly show you lesson 1.02 so you understand how to do a Dropbox activity. The same thing applies to lesson 1.02. So you would click on lesson 1.02. You would read through this particular lesson. Okay, this is the different types of operating systems, so you would want to click on each tab as you're reading through these. And when you work all the way through the end, you will essentially finish on this task part. Okay, now on this task part, you're going to have to download this assignment sheet. Okay, so I would click on this. Sometimes it takes a second or two to download, and this would be important that you guys save this on your flash drive. So you want to make sure that you save this on your flash drive, and so whatever your flash drive is named, that's what you would want to save it on. Mine is named Removable Disk. Okay, so I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to save it on my flash drive, and it says that it's ready, so I'm going to open it up. Okay, now when you open this up, it may look a little confusing, and that's why I want to show this to you real quick. All right, make sure you put your name, your date, your school, and your facilitator. All right, and this is going to give you a rundown of what it is you're supposed to do. So, based on the operating system that the operating systems that you learned about, you're going to be given these scenarios about these customers that have a particular need, and so you will have to decipher what operating system you would suggest that they purchase. Okay. Once you're done, once you've gone in and keyed in your responses, which are down here at the bottom, your recommendation for Alice, for Brian, for Charlotte, you'll make sure you save your file again. You'll close out, and now you're ready to upload this assignment. Okay, and it tells you to upload it in the 1.02 OS Comparison Dropbox. Well, that word Dropbox changes things a little bit. So I'm going to come back to the assessment. And rather than go to Discussions, I'm going to go to Dropbox. So once I click on Dropbox, I'll then locate that particular item, and that was 1.02 OS Comparison. So I'm going to click right here. And I'm going to attach my file. Okay, so right there where it says Add File, I'm going to add my file. So once you hit Add File, you'll need to upload. Okay, then you would find that particular file, and in this case it was 1.02 Task 2. I would recommend that maybe you change that name, when you're saving it. But I would select that particular file, hit Add. Okay, and then if you notice, there it is. So as soon as I hit Submit, I've now submitted that assignment successfully. Okay, I'm not going to do that because this is just an example, but that would be how you submit a Dropbox activity. Okay. Hopefully this gives you a better understanding about what you're supposed to do. I mean, it's a fairly simple process, guys. Just when you log in, make sure you know what you're supposed to do for the week in terms of what lessons. Then click on Content, find that particular unit. So for this week, we're working in Unit 1, and you're going to access these lessons by clicking on them. Okay, and when you access them, you're going to read that page and then click Next at the bottom. Read the page, click Next. So you'll essentially do that all the way through the lesson, and at the very end, you're going to get to a point where it gives you the task, your assignment, and your assignment's either going to be a quiz, it's going to be a Dropbox activity, or it's going to be a discussion. You access the quizzes the very same way. You would come up here to Assessment, and you would click on Quizzes, and then you would find the name of whatever quiz is scheduled for that particular lesson. So if you have any questions, please let me know. There's a lot of great things about this learning program. So if you have questions, send me an email. Again, you would come up here, click right here, then go to your email. My email is on the course syllabus, and again, that's right here in the Important Files tab. Okay, so if I click on Important Files, these are all the things that I need right now for this. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know.